Good evening, welcome. This is Strong and Sassy, and it's Wednesday evening. My name is Animwaa. I'm so overwhelmed by my guests. That's why it's just a lot. My name is Animwaa Anim-Addo, and we're on until 8 o'clock. So let me just get straight into my guests, because so that they can just start talking. So the first guest, this is your first time on Strong and Sassy, right?
Yes, this is my
but she
first
has
time.
overed all of us. She's now accosting us about tripod and things.
Right?
So we are like, hey, madam. Anyway, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Animwaa Anim-Addo, and I am the founder and the creative director of Bloom by Edgy.
Bloom by Edgy.
Yes.
I love that. So if you saw Noella over the weekend at Rhythms on the Runway, her gorgeous dress was made by this gorgeous lady who is wearing the gorgeous dress and is going to make some for us.
Yes.
So I think you should switch to Facebook so you can watch this live, because there's a lot to see. You don't want to be listening to us on radio tonight. But thank you so much and welcome. And your creations are lovely. So lovely. And then of course, my other guest who is always busy,
Your favorite.
so doesn't show up as
Don't
often
do
as
that.
we'd like. Well, it's true. Okay, you introduce yourself as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Afi, and I'm your favorite. Everybody knows that. This is probably my second or third time.
This is like your fifth or sixth.
Oh, don't do that. I think
You've
it's like
been
my
here- you've been here a few
like
times.
like I'm an OG.
Yeah, and if you're on TikTok and you watch Stay by Plan,
Yeah.
then that's Afi. But apparently, the Stay by Plan on TikTok is a short version of the longer version, which is on YouTube. So Stay by
Exactly.
Plan
On
Go and
YouTube.
subscribe.
Everybody right now, just take out your phone, Stay by Plan everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Just follow my page and you'll get it. Yeah.
You guys talk about very interesting stuff.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I follow you. So, all right, let's get into it. We're talking about branding your business ahead of the festive season. So, first of all, do you guys feel like shopping around Christmas is different from shopping rest of the year?
It definitely is. I mean, coming from a fashion designer's perspective, even if I should take the first step, which is like even sales during November towards December, it's actually like way more than the rest of the months, because people tend to buy more during the festivities.
Yeah.
True.
So yes, I totally understand.
So definitely, this is like your
Peak season.
Peak season.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is where
clothes,
people
hair.
spend
Yeah.
more
People spend more money. Are people willing to pay more?
Yes,
I think so.
people are just willing to just spend more money and money in general, because they have places to be, there are a lot of parties, there are a lot of activities, even church, weddings. There's like something going on every week, so people are always looking for more ways to spend money. And because it's a festivity, people are more liberal when it comes to like spending money. They just spend.
Oh, that's good
Yeah.
for you then.
Well, I guess.
What about you, Afi? What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I think because obviously Christmas is like a festive season. A lot of people are home. They have the opportunity to spend time with family and friends. 100%. They feel like it's an important moment, so they should make it worth their while. If it's parties, we're buying all the drinks we need. You go to ShopRite, people are just like having heavy trolleys because people are having parties. And like she said, people are going to church, people are going different places, and people are getting their Christmas bonuses. So basically,
Oh yeah,
yes,
that's
it's
true.
like,
Yeah,
oh, that's my
Christmas-
free
yeah,
money.
Yeah. Christmas bonus is a big thing. I guess that accounts for the traffic as well. The roaming around and
And there are a lot of people, the diasporan people, who also come into the
in.
country.
Are you
around
looking
that
forward
time.
to them?
Yes,
coming?
please.
Wow.
Her cocoa season, she's gonna
Yes,
make some
please.
money.
I'm looking forward to them. And so usually as a business, I put certain measures in place, like I'm trying to reach more of the people who are coming in as well, to make shopping easier for them. So currently I'm doing a pop-up at Marina Mall, which is closer to the airport. So once you arrive, you can just walk in there to shop. And then we also do
And
certain
styling Noella was a great move.
Yes,
'cause
thank
there was a lot
you
of
for the
publicity with
runway.
that, for the rhythms on the runway.
Yes, so I'm really looking forward to that
To
as
doing
well.
that.
Yes.
So your business is a little different.
Yeah.
How does the whole Christmas thing impact on the kind of conversations that you're going to be having and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so I'll talk about two things, the content creation and then the podcast.
Okay.
So for the podcast, there are so many events that will be happening in December, and I think we also have an interest with the diasporans, expats, just hearing their voice, because for Stay by Plan,
As in, like, they come to do their in it.
they're coming to their like, so what? Because we want to know, like, basically. So yeah, in as much as they have a different perspective, that's the whole point of Stay by Plan. We just want to understand people's perspectives and their experience. So we are definitely looking to having conversations with everyday people, and we've also been privileged to have popular people on the podcast, famous people, artists, musicians, and we're in talks with people who are coming into the country, so we're excited about collaborating with them. There are lots of festivals as well, so I think it's important for us, visibility wise, and just creating a community where people can appreciate the festive season from the eyes of others. And then from the content creation point of view, people don't really see influencers or influencing as a business, but it is a business. And you also have to be strategic in wherever you place yourself within this season. Like how I'm going to attach myself to him. He wearing this fire dress in December. Like, it's also your opportunity to
work on visibility.
And also work really hard, because that's when a lot of businesses are also willing to collaborate and let people know that this is what they have. So there is an opportunity.
Okay, so you've spoken about two very different things. So let's do let's talk about content creation, for example. So what kind of content are you going to put out there? And it's also looking like a lot of businesses are focusing on the returnees or on the crowd that comes in. Is it because they're spending more, or is it just because it's like a different vibe?
I think for every company or every business, the most important thing is the customers that already exist, and then being able to break into new markets. So I think they're just excited about the opportunity to break into new markets. So I think that's why they are wild for the people out there. And what was the next thing you asked about content creation?
What are the kinds of things?
So obviously you have to do the tacky red and green stuff. Like, it is Christmas. So definitely you have to tailor your content towards Christmas. And for me, I always ask every brand, like, what is the call to action? Like, what is your purpose of this ad? Do you want people to just know you exist? Do you want people to buy? Are there discounts? So just basically the content I'm trying to bring out in this season is simple, easy. What are the hacks for Christmas? How can I get something at a cheaper price? Or how can I get something that is value for my money? So just giving people the information that they need within the shortest possible time. Because nobody has time to listen or watch long forms, especially when they are busy. So just tailoring it to the crowd, like you.
That's why the snippets and the TikToks and those things are so important. Because mindless scrolling, I mean, you'll definitely hear something that... So how do you... I get how you are positioning yourself so that you can promote other people's businesses, but then how are you actually promoting yourself so that people are coming to you
as Stay by Plan, or as
a content as a content creator, or as an influencer?
So there's one thing that I learned recently about user generated content. Just being able to express how you can show a product. You see, some people always want to be paid to do things, but I think sometimes you just have to show your talents. So if it's about like this dress that she has, if I buy one and she's not necessarily paying me to wear it, and I'm able to take like a really nice video that shows what the dress looks like, another clothing brand will see it and be like, oh wow, this is a very interesting video. So I think especially in this season, it's not just about mindless posting. You have to be very strategic with the kind of content that you're posting, especially when it's not paid, because obviously when it's paid you have a script you are following, but in your own personal posting, you make sure that it's strategic, so that when a potential customer sees it, they can see their brand in your post as well. So
I see what you mean. So I'll come back to you in a second, talk about social media and using that to promote stuff, but let me come to you. So how are you preparing? Are you like making more stuff? Are you or are you going to like be on demand like crazy?
No, so Bloom by Edgy is strictly a ready-to-wear brand. So I mean, I forgot to introduce this in the beginning. So aside Bloom by Edgy, which is a ready-to-wear brand, I also have Edgy Woman, which does bespoke stuff, so like bridal wears, couture basically. But during this time, usually Bloom by Edgy stops taking orders by 30th November.
How did you come up with the name?
Yes.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
I'm glad to speak about this. I love to speak about it. So when I started stitching, I'm self-taught, by the way. I'm not like formally trained in fashion designing. I did accounting in uni.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, but like all my life, I've always loved creative arts. So this is like something I loved. I've done it over the years, and now I'm good at it. So when I started, it was just Edgy Woman. people bring their fabrics for me to sew for them, bridal, but it was not allowing me to like express myself in the ways that I wanted to.
Yeah.
So then I had to start something that can give me the freedom to do the things I wanted to do. So bloom basically means sprouting forth out of something. So it came out of something.
Okay.
Then along the line, when I started, I also realized that I wanted to tackle a problem, which is environmental pollution.
Okay.
So in Bloom by Edgy's own little way, our way of sourcing fabric helps to reduce environmental pollution by going to all these false fabrics. Because sometimes you see all these things, they bring them when the bigger factories, bigger companies are abroad, they send their leftovers back to Africa. Sometimes you go to Kantamanto, they are on the floor. So sometimes I go out, look for these fabrics, wash them, clean them, and create beauty out of them.
Okay.
So then creating beauty out of something that's left over or rejected. So it's blooming.
It's blooming.
Yeah, so that's where that came from.
No, and then
Bloom by
obviously
Edgy.
Edgy is your
Yeah,
name.
so well, my name is Edgy now. Most people like to associate Edgy with
Like
edgy now, but it's more like edgy,
It's
like a
actually
fashion.
edgy,
Yes,
Like
it's
edgy,
more
like an edgy. Oh, right. I thought it was a
Exactly.
name too.
I also thought it was
Yeah,
her
everybody
name,
thinks.
yeah.
So I just sometimes I
So
just
it's like
go
a
with
double.
it.
Yeah,
Exactly,
it's
can
like
go
good
both
Yeah,
ways.
it's a great name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when my edgy stops taking orders because we don't like. Number one goal is to not disappoint customers in this season. So to be able to do that, we need to receive your orders in time so we can be able to process it for when you need it. So I advise all the clients for custom orders. There's a particular period we stop taking custom orders.
Have you stopped?
For custom orders, we are stopping by the end of the week.
Okay.
Line is close.
Because Afi and
Yes,
I
I come
okay,
in.
Afi I think will have
Yeah, but
small,
that's more
medium one.
like designs that are not blown by edgy designs.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
okay, I
the
see
But
what you mean.
yeah,
Bespoke
but for
one.
bloom by edgy designs, because those ones patterns are already drafted, so workers can continue to produce even if I am not personally there. So production goes on till.
Okay.
So in December we focus mainly on bloom by edgy.
As opposed to
As
bringing
the other bringing your own
clothes
bringing
to
your
sew
own
for.
design,
Yeah,
all
yeah, I
because
get
those
that.
ones demand more time. And also another thing I do is every year I do a holiday edit,
Okay.
which is going to be launching next week. Like
Okay.
so a brand new design for the festive season.
Okay.
So there's going to be something you can wear to church, something for parties, something for all white stuff. So that like variety of things.
There's a lot
There's
of
about
all white
8
things,
designs.
yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So then every year I do holiday edit, which is like, and the designs in there are not things that you would wear for just the festive season. And after that, you can't wear it anywhere. They are timeless pieces
Okay.
that you can even wear after the festivities.
So I guess I mean the point you're making is really to be intentional
Yes,
about
exactly
during the Christmas
season.
what you are doing.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. I think I summarized your
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
So okay, so let's go to social media, Afi. So how important is social media? Let's say I am a hairdresser or I'm making candles in my living room or something. I mean, how do I use social media? Is it easier to kind of like just go to an influencer or can we like try to do things ourselves? Because you're talking about strategic posting and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
I heard recently that there are specific times of the day that when you
Yes.
post, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I mean,
There's no hard or fast rule when it comes to dealing with social media as a platform for advertising your business. But then I think it would be ignorant to ignore the fact that social media is a very powerful tool now, because especially with the youth who may more or less have the most purchasing power now, which is like from late 20s to about like mid 40s, are actively on their phones. They are like, I have conversations with people. Well, when's the last time you watched TV? Oh, I don't really watch TV.
Yeah.
I watch Netflix, and even the Netflix, they watch it on their phone.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot that is happening in new media now that you cannot ignore. So with someone making candles in their living room, I think social media is free. It's very easy to start. Growing your page is a whole different thing altogether.
yeah.
Working with influencers is a whole different thing together. But I think being able to invest in influencers is important,
Okay.
but it doesn't give you immediate effects. And I think that's something that people are now getting to understand. If I work with just one influencer for one brand promotion, there's just so much it's going to do. As against if I work with 5 influencers over the span of 3 years, people are going to be like, oh yeah, whenever I think of this brand, I think of this influencer, and I know I can get information about this brand from this person.
I
Yes,
see what you mean.
exactly. So short term, it may not necessarily be as impactful unless you have enough money. to like pay multiple people and then it's big.
Or you're paying one big person.
Exactly, yes. But then I don't think it's like, oh, this is complicated, I should never consider it. It's something that I think is good and is very rewarding when you start to reap the benefits. And I think one thing that is also important is the kind of influencers you interact with, or you quote unquote employ. Because if, for example, Bloom goes to use a food creator who has no fashion sense, that's like she literally just cooks, like she's just here for the cooking, and you are forcing her to promote your dress, it's kind of like a mismatch, because the niche would not, they'll probably like the post, but they probably would not buy anything because that is not why they are there. So just being strategic with the kind of people you collaborate with can also bring like very good.
That makes a lot of sense. Are you going to be, so let's say you're into fashion design, are you gonna try and do it all by yourself?
No.
Or you're going to?
No, I'm not doing it all by myself. I already have certain influencers on board who are going to be creating content for the season. So I mean, we've started from last month, towards the ending of last month. So it's going to continue till I think the first 2 weeks of January, which is like continuous content.
So you'll have people
yes,
and talking about
yes.
it. So if you can't afford the influencer, and obviously growing your page takes a while, what's the quickest way to reach people on social media? If you have like a little business, let's say for example I'm selling tissue paper out of my living room, or I've got a barrel from the UK with biscuits and teas and stuff like that, but I'm not really big on social media. How do I like quickly get my stuff out there?
I think friends and family first. You obviously have to start sharing the links with people close to you who would willingly share your stuff for free.
I was thinking,
right?
You can go and post your
under all their praying. They say, please, I sell tissue if you're crying.
Finish praying, there's tea and biscuits.
But like, you can share the link with family and friends. And sponsored ads actually work. And they are not... They can be expensive depending on how long you want to run it. But you can even spend maybe 20 CDs or 30 CDs on a sponsored ad. And it's to reach a few people.
Ad is what?
Okay, so sponsored ads, especially on Instagram and Facebook, they basically show your content to people who are not necessarily your followers, but are within whatever target market.
So that's why, for example, if I'm looking at a clothing, I go to a page that sells clothes. If I'm scrolling, the middle of it somewhere,
you see some shoe or something,
shoes,
exactly.
Yes.
Oh, those are sponsored
paid
ads.
Yes.
And you can spend as little as $3 on Instagram and as much as $500. But like there are options, just that the reach would be limited, but it's also a way to start.
Because when it comes, if it piques your interest, then
you definitely click on it,
and then you go to their page.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Are you doing?
Yes,
you do.
I do. I'm currently even running one. I've run one the whole of November, and I'm going to running throughout the whole of December as well.
Do you find that the returns are good?
Yes. So I feel like she mentioned, right, you can spend as little as you want, or you can spend as much as you want, depending on your reach or your target, the people you want to meet. But I find that no matter the amount you spend, you end up selling way more than that. So you don't really feel like, okay, my money is wasted, it's gone. I mean, there are days where you may not make a sale, but then you get followers who may in turn buy later. I mean, there's a new feature they have now where they are able to group all your messages. They've done it like from ads. So when you go to your DMs, there's general, there's primary, then there's from ads. So you can tell that these are the number of people who have messaged you from your ad. So even if they don't end up buying, they are there. You can follow up on them later and they may buy later.
Okay.
So I think it's a great way of reaching more people.
So does that mean that the normal ways of marketing are not as in vogue as they used to? So radio, TV, we're kind of really focused on social media now.
Well, I personally feel like there are different kinds of people. Some of them are still watch TV, I just feel like the internet and social media is not like another way we can add up to what we already have. So it doesn't mean we necessarily drop our radio and TV. We're just adding on because we want to reach more people.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
It's pretty much the same thing. So we've talked about social media, we've talked about running promos, creating content. What are some of the other things that we can do to make our businesses more appealing or have more visibility? So, for example, okay, let's go to the diaspora squad. Those who are making local things, like maybe, I don't know, baskets, hats, batakaris, that kind of thing. You're wanting to reach those who are coming, but you don't really know how to. Where do they go? What do they do? How do we find them? And do you actively go out there to sort of like court them, or like stand at the airports and shout like what's the plan exactly?
I think there's power in collaboration. Maybe Stay by Plan as a podcast, just an example, may not be able to do much as compared to if we partner with 5 or 7 other podcasts, come together and let's do a live podcast show at this location. So I think especially for small businesses, they can collaborate with other businesses within a similar field and then try and create some visibility.
So that means helpful. That you have to be aware of the programs that are happening. When they're happening, where they're happening, and then you have to go there.
Yeah, plug yourself in. Or you can also create your own events. Like, imagine if all the basket weavers at Cantonment are like, you know what, let's come together and do a basket weaving display in front of Cantonment, for example. Okay. We have our flyers, we make our flyers, and any car that is passing, we share it to them. That can also bring some sort of impact. Okay. But I think most of us just don't really like to think outside the box, or collaboration can sometimes seem difficult. So it's like, what if we go and everybody buys from her and doesn't buy from me? Okay. But these are the little ways by which I think we can bring visibility to our businesses, collaborating with people in similar fields and then pulling resources to bring people.
So for you, collaboration is the big thing.
It's a big thing.
So what if I don't want to collaborate and I want to sell? I guess then you just have to be a vendor.
Yeah, you just have to be a vendor
at
some
fair, whatever the event.
Yeah, I think like I mentioned pop-ups.
Yeah, you can do your own pop-up.
That would really also help. So maybe you can look for places where, I think it also depends on your target market, the people who you want them to purchase your item, right?
Exactly.
Where can you find these people? So try and see if you can get a slot somewhere you can set up, so these people can be able to see you when they are passing. Or so I think pop-ups also really help.
So for example, you talked about pop-up at a mall. Are they costly? Are they free? Are they, what is that? That's why I said a mall. I didn't remind listeners of which mall. But are they, I mean, because maybe someone is saying, thinking, I want to do a pop-up, but they have no idea.
So I think the malls are, obviously you have to pay rent, right? Some of them charge daily, some of them charge monthly. I think it depends on what you want to do. I typically do monthly, but I feel like she mentioned, right, if you can't afford the space all by yourself, because it's quite a big space. Okay. If you can't afford it by yourself, you can go to other people and say, oh, hey, I have this idea of going to rent this space. Would you be interested in joining me, so we split the cost? So I think maybe that's like an option somebody can consider if they can't foot the entire bill.
Okay, so they are expensive.
Expensive is relative.
Yes, but in Ghana, when we say something is expensive,
well,
we know that it's expensive.
Okay, yes, they are expensive. Yes, they are expensive. I mean, I won't quote figures, but
they are expensive. So those are like the malls and stuff. But what's about, like, for example, if you wanted to do a pop-up on Oxford Street, or if there was a carnival, then I guess you would have to
figure out.
Yes. Exactly.
So there are no free pop-up locations?
Unfortunately, I don't think so.
No. Are you serious? So the kinky sellers and things, are they paying?
Well, they do food fairs as well. Even that
like
to go sell.
Yeah,
they like
the normal
like the normal ones by the road.
No, I don't think they have.
So you can pop up there.
You can do a pop-up in front of your house. Nobody will catch you. Honestly, but then so where's your house?
Is like basically you going out of where you usually stay to a different place just to go pop up there and leave.
Yeah, but then you're looking for visibility. So you have to go, and these places are not
free.
They are not free.
So it's either you're talking to the event organizers or you're pitching camp. You know, the thing that's really funny is how they're doing like these big concerts and stuff at international conferences and stuff, and then you see the drink sellers and the bread and egg sellers. They've popped up.
Yes,
you
But
can
then
pop
they
up.
have anything.
Yeah.
So I guess you can pop up.
It's your wildness.
Yes.
Yeah, you can pop up outside.
Yes.
That's like really wild though. Like after a concert, you're like share butter.
You just open your trunk.
Usually at that place,
Yeah.
they even increase the prices of the
yeah,
products.
Yeah. Do you do that?
'Cause- No, I don't.
Yeah, it would be weird to be selling
No,
clothes
I don't
after.
pop up and I increase the prices. If anything, sometimes I actually rather do discounts.
Okay.
Because when people come to pop-ups, the first thing in their mind is discounts. So it makes it very difficult to even sell there because they come and they go like, hey, I thought you were running discount ads. Hey, discount. Like, discount is like the word you hear so you leave that place.
Oh, wow.
So every now and then, I give discount based on what the person is buying, based on how the sales are going, or based on how many the person is
it
buying.
difficult for you to discount your stuff? Because you price it, obviously. Things are
Yes.
priced based on certain things. So
Yeah.
how are you able to integrate discounts into stuff?
So I mentioned based on how sales are going. Then I also mentioned based on how many things the person is buying.
Okay.
So for instance, if the whole day you haven't sold anything, for example, and somebody comes and says, "Oh, this thing is 450. Can I pay 430?" You'd be pushed to give it to them just so you can make some sale for the day, right? So because it's better
I mean,
than
the way you started from 450, it's giving us an indication that that's like your
No, it's not
normal.
No, 450 is not my normal. Bloomberg Edgy, our prices range from 200 to 1,005 at the moment, depending on what you're buying.
So depending on where you are in the day, you decide on whether.
Yes,
to
and also
discount
based
it.
on what the person is buying. Somebody can come and buy a whole bunch of things and goes like, "Oh, give me some discount." That's just fair because we do discount. We recently just did Black Friday. Some items were slashed into 2. So if I can do that, then I can do that for somebody. But it's not something I typically do because customers tend to get used to discounts if it's something you do often. So now they don't want to buy at original price anymore. Somebody will come and ask you, "Are you coming to run? Will you be running discount anytime soon? Because I would like to wait."
As in they will wait.
Yes, as in they want to wait for the discount. So,
Wow.
so it's not something I typically, I don't encourage my
God,
followers
yes.
to be
Straight
so
away.
all about. So I do discount like once a year, maybe Black Friday.
Like they are
Then
waiting for them.
they will
They'll ask you.
Like Kaya dress, I got like so many questions on, is Kaya dress going to be on discount? Is Kaya dress going to be on, like a lot. So eventually I decided, you know what, let me dedicate one day, maybe take like 100 CDs off each and every one of them, so that those who maybe genuinely they don't have the funds to be able to afford it, right? Maybe it's my way of just, people love the products, so let me just give it to them. So I dedicated a day and I did 100 CDs off for them.
I see. That's very interesting. Waiting for discounts. So, Afi, let's go back now to like the podcasting business and the chatting and all of that. What are some of the things that people want to talk about
on the podcast
during this season? Yes.
So one of the main things that we've seen is, especially during this season, a lot of people want to come and talk about their events or their brands. And in as much as those conversations are interesting, you can't have 4 or 5 episodes where we are talking about events. So we have to find a balance between that. But the holiday season is also an opportunity to make money. So fun fact, Say by Plan actually runs ads. So if you want to run an ad on the podcast, we can do that for you. So if someone is doing a party
I
or
like how I've asked my question
and I'm just plugging in, I'm staying by plan.
Like you're answering your own answer, which has nothing to do with the question, Madam.
Okay, sorry for
please,
deviating. I'm
let
sorry.
me ask the
Okay,
question
ask again.
again.
I'm sorry.
What are some of the conversations?
Some of the
like
conversations, topics
not
during the
advertising,
season.
marketing,
Yeah, so that's what I'm.
say that.
Oh no, I'm not deviating. I've not deviated. So what I'm saying is, unfortunately, during the festive season, people want to talk about their business. They are just trying to make money. But removing those people aside, removing those people aside, we obviously have people who want to talk about being financially wise during the season, or safety during the season, like how to protect yourself. Even just today, we had a discussion about gender-based violence with Zonta, like just trying to bring visibility on the kind of things that can happen
during Christmas, because people are drinking.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Emotions tend to run a bit higher.
Exactly. Where were you? Why did you go out? And stuff like that. So we try as much as possible to still have conversations that are relevant and would be beneficial. And of course, there's vision boards. What are people trying to do next year? What are some of the mistakes people made this year, and how are they planning on being better next year? So these are the kind of conversations that you have.
So when you're having these conversations, do you find that then people are listening more because they can relate? I feel like December, I don't know, let me ask you, are you the kind of person that like December, you kind of like, okay, what are the things I did wrong this year? How do I make it better next year?
Yes, I think I do a little bit of that. I mostly do beginning of the years. I set goals, especially for my business, that okay, I want to do so and so and so. So when the year is ending, I'm going like, okay, which one of these things have I been able to achieve? Okay, which new ones do I want to do next year? The ones I couldn't achieve, can I push them to next year? So yeah, I'm definitely that kind of person.
You?
Yeah, 100%. And
people are very, very serious.
especially the vision board thing really works. Like
Okay.
if you actually actively write what you want to see in your life. I mean, it's even in the Bible that when you write it, like it will come to pass. So I actually don't I don't play with it. I take it very seriously. The vision board thing. Yeah.
Okay, so you find that when you're talking about things like that, people are more interested.
Yes, they are more interested. And I don't know, Ghanaians also like controversial topics. So
Okay.
if some people come on the podcast and they are arguing about something, maybe if there's like an event and it flopped, or there was some yawa and they are talking, those are the kind of things people like. But
It amazes
I don't
me
know
that-
why
yeah,
they really
yeah.
feed off of that. So if
Yeah.
you are not really careful about what you want your brand to represent, you just go off. Like you watch certain programs and all they do is talk about rumors and just go on that, because it brings the views.
It does.
It brings the views.
does.
People like stuff like that as well. So you just have to find a balance. And I also realized that during December, because people are moving around a lot, not everybody is willing to sit down and listen to a full episode.
Yeah.
So we've tailored the December season to be completely different. We will be outside doing vox pops. We'll be going for Afrofuture or some events, just trying to understand like things happening in real time, putting out short form videos, because that's what people will be interested in.
Yeah.
Nobody's come to sit down and listen to a long
So,
conversation.
for example, if you're going to Afrofuture, and I saw that Davido is headlining
Mm-hmm.
this year, which I was quite excited about because of his song, Them Go Roll It, Them Go. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to be brave enough to go. But so let's say you want to go, and I know, and let me just say, Afi is not a spokesperson for Afrofuture.
Thank you very much.
Just asking.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
just asking,
Yeah.
and it's as generic as,
Yeah.
it's not
Tailored to it.
Afrofuture specific. So, for example, if you want to kind of go and do a podcast
Yeah.
at an event like that, or you want, how do you go about it? What do you do?
So it really comes back to what you were saying about vendors, and they will still treat you like a vendor. And when it comes to events, it's not in December that you're going to tell someone that, oh, I want to do a podcast in your
Okay.
You probably have these conversations like 2 to 3 months before.
Okay.
And then it becomes like almost like for radio, they'll give you a media pass. So they see us as media as well. So you get a media
Okay, so
pass,
you
and
email.
then you have to
I mean,
send
we're
them
having a real life conversation because somebody is listening and thinking, oh, I want to do this.
yeah,
They
you have to
no
send a
clue.
proposal. But then, I mean, it's also interesting
Were you
when
going to say
people...
fun fact?
Fun facts. It's not really a fun fact. I'm like, let me not say fun. Fun fact, it's not all the time that you would send a proposal. Sometimes people reach out to us, oh, we are doing this event. Would you like to set up and do something for your podcast there? And then we're like, okay, does this make
Okay.
sense? Is it financially beneficial or mutually beneficial? And then we go for it. And if there's an event that we want to be a part of, then we have to send in the proposals. So you would look at the year before and see what kind of events did well, which ones align with your brand, and then you start to plan for next year. Because
So what would you, for example, if you have a podcast, what would you be going to talk about at an event?
So like I said, the real time conversations. How are you enjoying this event? What brought you here? What are you looking forward to?
Oh, so you're talking to the people that are coming through.
Exactly.
So if I'm sitting at home and I want to do Sabe and see who went to
Exactly.
this event,
Exactly.
and I know that you guys were there, but isn't that what radio or TV or whatever? it
Yeah,
is
so then
does?
that's the thing. I feel that's why podcasts are becoming very powerful now, because they are almost like a cross between old media and new media. They are given, and for Stay by Plan like this, is audio and video. So you are giving people the radio feel, you are giving them the TV feel, but it's still informal, so you're giving them the social media feel. So like you see that even a lot of companies are even leveraging on that, and then they're also doing podcasts on their radio, like during radio, because there's some flexibility to it as well.
I see. It's very interesting. I'm trying to imagine you sitting at a concert ground and, you know, having, you know, chatting with people, or then there's the vendors as well at the concerts. If you're selling kebab or you're selling...
You can talk to a vendor, how is it going? Are people buying, or they are just coming to... Like, you can make it fun,
And I guess if you're a vendor, it doesn't really matter what you sell. You could actually go there. Because, like, if, for example, you sell panties, right? Like, people could be sweaty and, like, maybe they went to pee. So
Animwaa, please
change your underwear. It's like you know how sometimes you go somewhere and you are looking for the weirdest thing to buy.
True.
Like a panty.
I agree. Yes. Maybe you went for a concert and you're going to sleep at your friend's house because it's late.
You went for a concert and then your period came.
For example, it's not far-fetched.
Suddenly there's a pop-up store and there's things like you know. I'm just saying, like, we could be creative.
The opportunities are there.
Take, I mean, would you sell your clothes at like a concert? Because maybe you come to the place, right, and you see that you are underdressed.
They want to change.
Or you didn't know your crush was coming. Then you spoke to me. I was like, oh, Jesus, I have to change.
I have to change.
And then that's edgy. You're like, oh my God, I'm about to bloom.
Exactly.
But I find that these events, right, people don't go there to buy clothing. They go there to buy snacks, drinks, you know, stuff like that. So, and if you take your clothes there, people are not coming there to buy. So they will even see it and you may not necessarily make sales. And mind you, they are charging for these pop-ups. So you are not just going to set up and at the end of the day, you are not going to make any sales. So you also have to be, you mentioned strategic earlier on. Yeah. So you have to also be strategic where you go to. And I don't think...
People don't buy clothes.
No, people don't. Yes, they don't.
Wow, people buy T-shirts.
Like if it's related to the concert.
So I guess with the concerts and stuff, the biggest thing is maybe food.
Yeah, food.
It's mostly food.
So those who sell food, this is a good time for them as well, because there are lots of orders. There's the techie orders, that. So you're putting it on social media. Yeah. You're attending events. Yeah. You are what else? Social media, attending events.
Pop-ups. Fairs. I mean,
collaborations,
food fairs, because there's a lot of. So I think the big thing is really that if you want your business to do well this Christmas, you're really going to have to put yourself out there.
Yes. And I also think you also have to be ready to put yourself in an uncomfortable position. If I was starting a chicken wings business, I know that there are so many people doing chicken wings. I know that, I'm going to start selling from 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. because a lot of companies are probably not willing to go through that stress. Okay. But there's an opportunity there because people are going to be out. People are going to be going for parties, concerts, and they're going to come back hungry. And they'll have a few options. If I have my food truck somewhere in Osu, and people start to know that, there's some girl who does some chicken wings, it's really good, and she's there from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. That's my opportunity. So I think just finding these loopholes in like
uncomfortable spaces,
uncharted spaces, and leveraging on it will be a very good way to like expand
for Christmas.
For Christmas, during the season. No, just during the season.
So uncomfortable hours. That doesn't really apply to.
No, that doesn't apply to her.
She's like,
no, that doesn't apply to her.
It really doesn't. I see. I think we've pretty much covered almost all the ways that you can put yourself out there or visibility. We've talked about influencers. We've talked about collaboration. Social media, going to fairs, pushing yourself out there, doing the midnight thingies, walking on the streets, setting up pop-up stores if you can afford, or going to Perch by the Kinky Seller if you can't, because they have been popping up ever since. They're not paying anything. So I guess it really depends on the kind of business that you're doing.
Exactly.
And then finding a way to put it out there. There's one theme that kind of runs through all of these things, is that it's not easy and it's hard work. What does that feel like? I mean, it sounds glamorous, right? When we talk about, you're doing a podcast for future, and like, but it's what the reality, what is that reality like? So if I decided to do it, so I'm coming to sell, yam and fried egg, something. What does that, what's that like?
the reality is a lot of sleepless nights, especially because it's a festive season. I cannot shoot something that happened today and release it in 2 weeks. It's no longer going to be relevant. If I shoot it today, we have to bring it out tomorrow. If we are bringing it out tomorrow, that means editing. I think a lot of people don't really know what goes behind the scenes, but you're now editing audio, video, text, cutting so many things together. So that's hours of editing and bringing out the relevant content in real time. So I think that's going to be
Unless
one
you're
of the
doing live.
unless you're doing live, and it's going to be, and even with live, the
You still have to
logistics,
cut
yes, and the
and then put it
logistics
out
of
there, yeah.
transportation. You are carrying mics, video, you are making like real time content. You need a team. You need to pay people to do that.
Yeah.
So it gets very heavy and very complicated, and you would be spending more hours. And I'm sure even for her, if the orders come up, you know that you're going to be sewing more, like so
yeah.
it's glamorous, but then there's a lot of sacrifice
A lot
in
of-
there.
That means that you actually are not going to be able to enjoy.
Not really, maybe a little bit, but not really. I mean,
it depends.
it
Do you
depends.
work straight through?
Yes, we work throughout. I mean, a couple of years back, we would break on 20th December, but I realized that that's the time people want to buy more, so we don't break anymore. So we work throughout. I mean, the only day my workers get is the public holidays, like
The
Christmas
25th,
Day,
26th.
Boxing, First. Then after that, after everything is said and done, then they can now take a break,
Yeah.
like 2 weeks to just
I
go
find that
rest.
quite a number of my friend owns a salon, and she also works through Christmas,
Yes.
through New Year,
Yes.
and then mid-January thereabout,
Yes,
then they
we go-
close for like 2
yes.
weeks.
Yeah.
So you do.
Yes, I do the
So
same
you
thing.
so if you're going to try to make the most out of this season, then you have to be ready to kind of postpone your celebration.
Yes.
Your
So after you've
relaxation.
counted the money.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah. Is it worth it, all the hard work during the festive
it definitely is. I mean, you can get results if you don't put in the hard work. You are going to have to put in the hard work, which means working extra hours, which means sleeping at work sometimes, which means coming to work earlier, which means not going for the shows you want to go, or even if you
If
do.
you go, then you're a vendor.
Well, yes.
My daughter was like, "Oh, I should take her to something rave. I think it was Dirty Rave or something." So that if I'm taking you to the rave and I'm going to stay there, then I'm going to fry whilst I'm waiting.
That's all.
That was the end of the conversation. So she won't go again. But I mean, if you are frying yam or kelewele or something, Davido is performing. so
Yeah,
at least
people
you
will buy
yeah.
it.
So I mean, you can make it
Yes.
fun. I guess it's also about attitude and
Yes.
perspective.
Yes. Or
Right?
even if you choose to go, you have to be ready to wake up in the morning and still come to work, which I do sometimes. So it's like you're
sometimes,
sacrificing.
yes, very like
Yeah,
I
you
do.
sometimes you sacrifice your sleep because you sleep like 4 hours every 24 hours so that you
Okay.
can be able to blend, and do all of that. So for me, I'm able to do that. So sometimes I'm able to still go out
Enjoy
and
a
still
bit
work.
and a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, final words. We're pretty much out of time. But what advice would you give to people who are, kind of like, oh, Christmas is coming. I want to make the most out of it, but,
Should I go first?
Yeah, go first. Oh, you want.
Oh, so I'll go first.
Bloom by
Yes,
Edgy
Bloom.
to
She should go first. I'll go first. I think we've said it all: consistency and just be willing to put in the work. Research. There are so many things that you can find out online about businesses and how to grow. Actively do the research and then be strategic. Know the kind of people you are trying to reach. Find out where they will be this season and find a way to reach those people.
reach them, yeah.
Yes, basically that.
And watch Stay by
And watch
Plan.
Stay by Plan, the
And
podcast.
if you are like me, are going to be in the house doing virtual kokonsa, then Stay by Plan is a good channel to follow because then you'll be caught up on all
Exactly.
yeah.
So if there's any events they want us to be at to give them live,
they
just send
should
us a
send you the
DM. We'll be
message,
there.
yeah. Please be at all the events so that we can know what's going
on.
Yeah. Madam.
Yeah, so I would say that if you want to take part in this festive season and make the most out of it, maybe it may look like it's too late now, but it's not too late. It's to plan ahead. If this year you haven't been able to plan, next year try and plan way ahead of time. Think of things you can do. We've listed a whole lot of things that you can do. So try and figure out which ones can relate to your business and plan ahead of time. If it's collaboration, start looking for which influencers you would like to collaborate with. Start looking for pop-up spaces way ahead of time. And what I can say that it will pay off. So when you're doing it, it may feel like, oh, this is a lot of work, but don't be shy. Just put in the hard work and it'll pay off. Yes.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Check out
Bloom by Edgy. So it's
Wow.
at BLOOMBYEDZI on all social media platforms.
Yeah.
We also have an actual store. So
Okay. Where's
at
your store?
Christian Village,
Okay.
at Chimota Christian Village. Also Bloom by Edgy on Google Maps or
Okay.
Uber.
And if
Yes.
I'm going to say, so if you loved Noella's dress over the weekend, this is the woman
Yeah.
responsible for it. So
Thank you.
beautiful designer. Thank you for coming.
Yes,
Ed
thank you.
Georginam.
Georginam.
Yes.
Ed Georginam. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for
Afi,
having
when we
me.
call you, don't be too busy for
Oh,
us.
I'm here for you. December, I'm here for you.
We hear
Come
you.
next
We'll be
week, I'll here.
following. Okay. Yeah. So we'll be following you as well.
Yes.
You'll be giving us updates over Christmas
Yes.
and all of that.
Yes,
And
you can follow my personal page, Afichega, on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere is the same handle. And the podcast page is Stay by Plan Pod everywhere, Instagram, Twitter. And we are on Spotify, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on YouTube.
We're
Stay
everywhere.
by, we're
basically.
everywhere. Just type Stay by
Plan,
In fact,
yeah.
write www.staybyplan.com and everything is going to
Everything
show
will
up.
come. Well, thank you guys so much. We wish you all the best this Christmas.
Thank you.
Afi and I
having
are
us.
coming for our measurements and our
Right
right
here.
now. And thank you guys as well for staying tuned in. My name's Animwaa Anim-Addo. This is Strong as Sassy. We'll do this again next week, Wednesday at 7. A big thank you to the whole team for production. And Faustina is here. She's going to give you the headline news at 8 o'clock.